you have the floor.
Thank you, Paul. And good morning to all of you. It's, again, as you know, chocolate and confectionery is very close to my heart, and it's with great pleasure that I can outline for you some of our details on that business, but as well as that, take you to some of the cocoa and coffee sustainability measures that we're taking. Our chocolate and confectionery sector for the 9-month organic period, you can see there on the slide, is a healthy plus 4%. But the important point is to note that last year, if you remember, we were plus 8% organic growth. So this is year on year a very solid growth. And equally, the EBIT margin at half year was plus 60. And again, that was on top of last year, again, a very healthy bottom line growth. So I'd like to again focus on what Paul said earlier. We are a top line and a bottom line company, and this is definitely reflected in the figures that you see there. In the chocolate and confectionery business, it's important again to remind you that we are very much a locally driven company. We have a lot of local brands, and as again you can see on the slide, 70% of our sales are actually in those very favorite and loved local brands. And on top of that, again, to remind you, probably because it's not always, we have KitKat as a global brand, but these local brands take very strong positions. We always talk about the top 10 count line positions. If you happen to go to a small store, you stand there, and most people have a repertoire of 6 or 7 brands that they love, and they'll choose one. We actually have 45 brands with 110 chocolate count line positions in that top 10 position. And then as well as that, if you look at the total chocolate category, we have a number 1 or a number 2 position in 152 products with 77 brands. So again, reflecting the breadth of our brand portfolio across the world. 2 words on KitKat, which is obviously very important to us. It's our biggest selling chocolate brand globally, with sales of over almost 2 billion Swiss francs. But the important thing is that we have a global top 3 position in KitKat. But as well as that, it is always seen as a very local brand in the individual countries. For example, if you look at Japan, what we want to tell you about there is that there's been a very big e-shop that's been created called Rakuten Ichiba. It's the largest internet shop in Japan, and our KitKat has gone in there. The sales of this e-shop is actually 660 billion yen, which is 7.6 billion Swiss francs, so a massive enterprise. And we actually launched a range of special KitKat souvenir packs, and there you can see on the right-hand side a green tea KitKat, which is very much a local favorite. But as well as that, on the left-hand side, you can see a KitKat with cherry blossoms on it. And this is because the word KitKat in Japanese, kitokatsu, means surely win. And every year, as I'm sure you're aware, there's a massive exam that's very important for the students that determines which university they go to, which basically determines the rest of their lives, which company they join. And the results come out at cherry blossom time. So we always launch this product as definitely a lucky surely win message to the consumers. And that's been a huge favorite on this internet site. So the growth of our chocolate business has been driven in part, but not all, by our mainstream products and brands. And I thought I'd put up there some of our really favorite old brands and give you some idea of how old they are. KitKat on the left is 75 years old. Kaye, 190. Perugina is actually 105, but Baci specifically 87 years old. And the oldest of the lot is Orion, which is the number 1 brand in Czechia, which is 112 years old. And even Aero is 74 years old. I've got one more one on the bottom right there, which is 1 year old, just to prove to you that we are also launching new brands. And also to talk about Nestlé Munch, which we launched in India under 10 years ago. And this is a fantastic product. It's actually got to number 2 in under 10 years. It sells in over 1 million outlets and has a total of the total confectionery market in India has an 11.5% share. But if you look at the prices, the biggest brand sells for 5 rupees, but the one you see on the screen there is a little mini. It's called Chotu Munch, and that sells for 2 rupees, which is less than 5 centimes. I think some of you might be wondering how we could, certainly in Europe, whether we could even pack get the packaging and get it down the line for less than 5 centimes. And yes, we do make money on that product. And then this year we've launched Guru Munch, which is a bigger one for 10 rupees. As Paul explained, we opened our Chocolate Centre of Excellence this year. It's a very important investment for us, 25 million Swiss francs. And we're moving in the Chocolate Centre of Excellence from excellence right from the bean all the way through the model to the consumer and how we package the products to the consumer, and including, of course, these wonderful chocolatiers. And this will really be strengthening our expertise in chocolate making and in premium and luxury products.